Hello. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this world. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having an amazing Sunday or, Monday morning, early Monday morning, depending on where you are. Great to see everybody. I'm going to give a couple minutes for people to come in. I hope that you are in a really good place right now. Mercury is going direct very soon, few more days. It's been wild, hasn't it? The energies have been a little bit wild with Mercury retrograde, with a lot of other aspects that are happening. And I think I mentioned in the last live stream that we do have some great aspects coming up. I think that Venus is going to trine Uranus. You get some really nice surprises, and then Venus is moving into Libra in her domicile, which I love. The same day that Venus is going to trine Pluto, there's just a big focus on relationships, on love, on money. Very, very, Mercury, as I said, is going to be going direct as well. So we're leaving that cosmic storm. I'm glad you brought your umbrella for that. Great. Hello, everyone. So great to see you. Do you like the name of so these live streams I've called 11:11 with Jimmy, and I just I thought it was simple. We all know 11:11. So why don't we get started? How's everybody doing? Everyone good? Yeah? Okay. It's great to see everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I think that I did some channeling, and I like to start these live streams off with a little bit of channeling. I know that I've done a lot. They're all over the place. There's some that are in the September live stream, some that's in the next 6 months live stream. A lot of it already has happened. Some big events like I mentioned Juno, I mentioned a big boat, a big ship, and I feel like there's something else there with water as well. I think I mentioned vaccinations. That's going to be a big. There's emphasis on that in September. And something else did come up, and there may be some shift with children's health, and so I just want you to keep an eye out on this and just be aware of it. And I sometimes I get like a lot more vivid messages and visuals, but I just keep it very basic just to give you an idea of what may be something that happening and how it might have an impact on you. I do also think there's going to be something. I feel like there's going to be something like going really deep into the earth. I feel like people are studying something or looking for something. Anyway, that makes news. What else? Congratulations to a lot of you. I feel like, well, it's really funny because congratulations for getting through that cosmic storm. But I feel like a lot of people have gotten really great things happen in their life recently, or that you're moving toward it. So, especially in a work environment, that came through. I think that we are in a great place of renewal, regeneration. I mean, the first thing that came up a lot of times when I, meditate and channel, a lot of animals will come up, and animals are really strong in terms of symbology, and a lot of deer came up. So there's always a sense of renewal, rebirth. It's always a great connection when you see that deer. And truths, a lot of truths are going to be coming out. It's also working with your truths. I feel like you are naturally going to understand there are common sense wise consequences that happen with actions you take, but a lot of y'all are going to be in the spirit of taking control, taking these actions to have these amazing consequences that happen in your life. I think there's also still some announcements to come. I wrote down awakening, like your third eye chakra. That's going to be really important. It's something that you may want to focus on as well, because as you know, that really helps you connect with your higher mind. And so there is that emphasis there. Sorry, I'm going through my notebook. I got a lot of notes here. I'm going to keep it at that. There's, again, a lot of things do come up, but um, I think just the ones that I feel compelled to tell you about. And then obviously, we're moving into eclipse season. One thing that I do want to point out real quick, and I will have your weekly forecast out on Wednesday, and I talk about this a little bit more, but I think that there is going to be a lot of focus on your emotions and emotional growth with Mars moving into Cancer. That's going to happen September 4th. It's going to be there for 2 months. And then it's going to go back into Cancer retrograde around January 2025 to about February. And so sometime around that time in the beginning of the year, you're going to come back to something that's happening between September and October. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on that, okay? Because it is really impactful. We like to track a lot of the personal planets. Mars being in Cancer is in its fall, and it's when Mars goes retrograde, Mars in January, February, Mars is a little like over it. Just like, get me out of Cancer, get me back into Leo, wherever. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because of the big retrograde that we're going to have with Mars. I think it's actually retrograding at the same time. Venus is going retrograde at the same time. Mercury is going retrograde. There's a lot of retrogrades that are going to be happening with the personal planets. But anyway, the reason why it is a big deal is because from September 4th until June 2025, Mars is only going to be in Cancer and Leo, and that's it because of the retrograde, because it's going to be going back. So kind of a big deal. And then, we do have that amazing new moon in Virgo coming up. I love it. There's a lot of different energies that are happening. Oh, actually, that first week of September, which is coming up, one thing that I want to point out is that Venus is, when Venus goes into Libra, Venus is going to be conjuncting the North Node. So there will, I remember the North Node, the South. And we are, remember, the South Node is still in Libra. So there's possibly going to be some relationships that you may be focusing on. Maybe some have you're outgrowing. Maybe you're going to put some emphasis on relationships. It can be relationships and some other capacity. It can be even with family members, but even still, that's just something that I didn't mention in your weekly forecast because there's just so much happening that week that and I know that I throw a lot of astrology at you, but definitely pay attention to Venus trining Uranus this Tuesday. Okay, that is, Uranus is in Taurus. Remember that Taurus is a finance sign. Venus rules money as well, so there could be some big money focus here. And then Mercury that goes direct. And Thursday, Venus will trine Pluto. So again, a lot of money energy, a lot of love energy, really good, feel good energy. I love these aspects that are happening. But yeah, there could be some commitments you're thinking about that you might be adjusting to, having some adjustments with when Venus conjuncts the South Node. I said North Node. Mercury is still retrograde, by the way, as I do this. So, okay, can y'all hear me? I want to make sure that y'all can hear me while Mercury is retrograde. Does this sound not good? Oh, this is Mercury retrograde. Okay. Let me know. Is it? Oh, maybe. Let me know if, does that help? Can you hear me a little bit better? Oh. You cannot. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug my... Nobody can hear me. Oh, weird. All right. You can hear me. My voice is not clear. Y'all, this is so I think that I also mentioned with Mercury retrograde, yeah, the bookends are really strong, and so it's going direct pretty soon. So crackly. I don't know. This is I hope that you can. Okay, why don't I do this? Why don't I change? And while I do this, can you hear? Okay, so that's better. I love reading all these comments. Don't move. Okay, Robin, I'm not moving. I'm going to stay like just like this. I'm better now. Bucci, yes, I did fix my glasses. Okay, so I'm going to try not to move. I'm going to try to be like a robot here. I did feel my, and it's really funny. All I did is take some thread. You know, when you go to a hotel and sometimes they have those little sewing kits. I just took some thread and put it around the arm here. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, I am in an Aquarius, so we are inventive in terms of fixing things. Can y'all hear me now? Okay. Okay, great. All right. So, one other thing that I just wanted to bring to your attention is that we are definitely going through some really big changes. And I just want you to be prepared. I know that your September forecast, I talked about the eclipse that's coming up. I'll talk about it more in the weekly reading that's happening. But just remember, it's setting you up on this really big new cycle that's about to happen with a Virgo Pisces axis. And I did a separate video on what you can expect with eclipses. I talked about how they're 19-year cycles. And so it really is just this brand new phase that you're moving into your life. Eclipses are really strong. And and there are some potent energies that are happening in 2025 that I talked about. And I think I'm going to do a separate video or a live stream on 2025 because it is such a big deal with all the outer planets changing signs and within overlapping at the same time. Well, 5 when you consider Jupiter, but then you consider all the personal planets moving at the same time as well. Anyway, that hasn't happened in like I don't even possibly not even our lifetime. I mean, it's such a big deal. But anyway, the planets the signs are moving into. I mean, it's been a long time. I have to do some research and I have to, but it is now it's crazy. Okay, so I'm good now. Okay, great. So let me know if you want to if something that I was talking about that didn't come through. But and I have a really great, oh my gosh, I have a big announcement for you. Oh wow, this is great. Okay, so I get so many questions about rising signs, your rising sign, your ascendant. As you know, it's equally as important as your sun sign, even your moon sign. I say it's like the trifecta. It really tells the big story. But rising signs are, and I did a little video on it. I still get a lot of questions, and I know that it's so significant because we're really looking at, like, when you look at your birth chart, you start with your rising sign. It's sun was on the eastern horizon, but it really dictates, in the most general sense, how you're perceived, how you want to be perceived by the world, what you're putting out there. But I have a guest that's coming on who is really pretty well known, and I'm very excited about it. So we are going to do a live stream talking about rising signs, why it's important, how you can use it to your advantage. A lot of people who read their sun signs, and I say this, I've said this before, sometimes you can read your sun sign and it doesn't really correspond to what's actually happening for you. You're like, well, none of this has been happening, is because it's all happening with your rising sign. Okay. And so he's going to come in, bring a lot of clarity. You can see Ruby has joined because she's really excited about this special guest. So I don't want to give any dates now. I don't want to really speak more about it while Mercury's retrograde. I want to make it official after Mercury goes direct. So you'll definitely get a message with in the community post. I'll send you and I'll give you plenty of time to book the date. I'm going to give you plenty of weeks because we're going to do it. Well, again, I'm not going to put it out there because Mercury retrograde, but it will be in September. And another thing I want to differentiate between members and subscribers is I get a lot of subscribers saying, "Oh, I missed your live stream. I missed your live stream. Why am I not getting notifications?" And it's just because it's the memberships. And it's my way of giving back to you for you supporting me as members. I hope you know how meaningful it is for me. So if there are any subscribers, if you want to join, I would obviously be very delighted. And it is, again, like I say, very meaningful, and it is very touching. And I love having these moments with you. And it is something that I don't really never ask. I never say, "Oh, come become members" or anything. But I want you to know that it does help support me. It helps support me through the fact that I do have a full-time job. I do this on the side, and I get really excited to do your readings. It's the first at the end of the work. I get so excited. I can't wait to do your forecast because I'm really passionate about this. So I do want to thank you all for being here. S, you say, how do you find your rising sign? Well, you would need your birth chart, and that's why I have this guest coming on board, and you're going to be very happy, very happy. I'm just excited. I'm excited to have him on board. But it is we're going to go deeper into the rising sign, your ascendant, and it's again, it really does tell more of the story. As you know, I'm an Aquarius, Gemini rising, but every time, even when I was in high school, I would always just read my rising sign first, okay? Because I know how important that is, and I know that's going to tell a really strong story. And it's not to say that your sun sign doesn't matter. It does, absolutely. You have to read your sun sign as well, because all the aspects are having a conversation. Okay, everything is there's so much happening. Again, I'm not going to go too much into it. I always feel like it's more exciting when there's different voices other than me talking about some of these big things, especially with the rising sign and your ascendant. Okay, so and I'm getting prepared for big moments that are happening in September. And again, it's going to be a game-changing month. And just remember to just go work with these energies. I always say you create your own reality, manifesting things. Oh, and we're talking about that. We're talking about manifestation. I get a lot of questions about manifestation, manifesting. There really are some really key factors to manifesting that I wanted to talk to you about. And I don't want you to think that there is a wrong way, but there's a way that helps you make the things that you want to manifest come a lot more real for you. Okay. And manifestation, when you break it down, it's all about just using your thoughts to shape the reality that you have, that you're on, the timeline that you're on, the path that you're on, the things that you're bringing into existence in your physical world. All right. And this is, it's a principle of mentalism, right? When you think about the Hermetic principles, the first principle, this is all, the all is mind, the universe is mental. But you've probably heard of the law of attraction. That is, a Hermetic principle. As above, so below. The more that you vibrate at a high frequency, the more you're going to attract. The thing about the law of attraction, I remember it becoming like a really big thing when that book, I think it was like The Secret, came out. And yes, it is so important, the law of attraction, but it only focused on that one Hermetic principle out of all the Hermetic principles, and that really is the principle of correspondence. So without getting too esoteric, and let me just simplify things. When you manifest, you have to show up for yourself. Okay, You have to be there for yourself. You have to schedule time for yourself. Make sure that it's me time. Okay, that is going to be very important. I always talk about energy. It's literally, we're all made of energy. Everything in this world is made of energy. It's quantum physics. It's, hermetic principles. It's ancient practices. But it's literally like we're made of atoms, right? And they vibrate. So it's vibrating at this high frequency that allows you to attract the things that you have. And I say have because there's a difference between have and hoping for, or have and wishing for. Okay. And I'm going to break that down in a second. But the first things first, when you are manifesting, you, do it in a way where you're letting go of the things that are blocking you from believing the things that can be possible. Okay, the things that you want, all right, the things that, again, I like to say that things that you already have, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But when I say what's blocking you, it can be like patterns. It can be those low energy frequencies, like okay, I'm getting messages about this. Are we? Am I still crackling? Do I sound like coal and fire right now, or do I sound like an angel singing in TGI Fridays? What do I sound like? Where are we here? Okay, so I'm good again. All right, so let me continue, because maybe when, I don't know, I mean, adjusted your, oh gosh, now I'm thinking, I hope your videos don't have crackles in it. Ooh. Well, if they do, it's probably just really strong energy. You're probably hearing, the vibrations. I mean, sound is energy. Maybe you're hearing the sound of my strong energy coming through. That is so weird. I'm looking at the screen. Everything looks fine to me. Oh gosh, I didn't do my hair. Let me do my hair. I haven't even. I'm like looking at the camera because my camera's up there, and then the screen is here. Okay. Yes. As said, sometimes the blocks are so deep it is hard to remove. Absolutely, absolutely, and that is why. That's the first thing you want to do is let go of what's blocking you. And again, like, it can be low energy frequencies, like self doubt. It can be lack of confidence. It can even be like stress, maybe even impatience. So when those energies do come up, it's time to ask yourself why, right? Why do I feel this? Why am I doubting myself? Why do I have this, lack of confidence? Why am I stressed about it? Explore it. And then when you do that, you've got your solutions. Okay. And then you can break those patterns. And patience is definitely, I mean, like, patience is a virtue, as we know, but having that patience is going to help. All right. Why is this? Okay, so let me just see if I can actually unplug. I mean, okay, so maybe if I put this on this side. What about now? Can you hear? Is that helping at all? Mic. I just dropped the mic for you. I'll drop it again. Drop the mic. Did anybody say did anybody say no difference? No. All right, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take this off and just talk from my computer. Y'all, this is so weird. All right, so save that. I'll save that. Ugh. Okay. Why don't I do this? I don't even know where this is such a long cord. Okay,